We had the Puke before, but this is the Barroth. And the Barroth is a big dinosaur, and it has a super tough head. And that head is not a weak point. The Puke had 2 weak points. This one has one, I think it's the forearms actually, a very tiny part of the monster's body. I mean, there is the tail, there is the legs. You can hurt them, but it's not the optimal spot to hurt for damage. So the weak point is kind of like smaller. It teaches you a lot more about positioning than the Puke did. This monster, Barroth, it's about predicting the monster pattern and positioning. You need to position yourself to reach the weak points, and you need to anticipate the monster to be able to dodge out of the charges and deadly attacks that are sure to catch you if you're still wearing the beginner armor like me. And the Barroth is extremely mobile compared to like the monsters you fought before, except maybe Kuroyaku, because it has a wide variety of attacks. It can smash with its head, it can cover you in mud, it can charge at you or hurt you by bashing into you with its side. It's really a lovely monster. I feel the Barroth is going to be a wall for beginner players that are not familiar with Monster Hunter and have yet to encounter such a threat, because it does present a spike in difficulty. You fight it in the Whitespire Waste, which is a desert open area with relatively flat terrain, except the dunes area. It's an open environment, there's not a lot of corridors, it's large areas, and that benefits the monster's agility because it can just run everywhere and charge everywhere, and you're not going to be able to trap him against the wall to smash him, because he's going to smash into you. But there are some environmental traps, there's some quicksands that you can like make the monster fall into to immobilize it. It's not essential, but it is nice to have these traps in the maps for some of these more agile monsters. And this monster also introduces a status effect, Water Blight. Water Blight, when you're covered in mud, you're all wet, and you know what? When you're wet, you have a slower stamina regeneration, which is a big no-no for this monster, because you need to dodge a lot and sprint out of the way, because he's really fast with his charge, and if you don't have any more stamina, you're going to get really hurt. It's interesting that if the Puke introduces you to status effect, well, the Barroth introduces to stamina management, because you might have noticed before during hunting the previous monsters that you had stamina, and dodging cost stamina as well as sprinting. Well, this one is a lot more targeted at this area of learning. You can also use nullberries. Maybe the game teaches you about using nullberries as well to remove status effects that are not poison, and maybe teach you to always keep some in your pouch, because monsters and negative status effects are going to ruin your day and cut you and make you fail your quest. So you have to understand the monster patterns, how to manage your stamina, how to deal with status effects, where to hit it for optimal damage, and also not forget to sharpen your weapon. Because if you hit the head, you're going to bounce a lot, and that's really going to like blunt the edge of your weapon, especially if it's a hammer, right? Because hammers are sharp, you need to keep them sharp. And once you defeat the Barroth, then you did it. You learned, you grew as a hunter, and you became a more skilled Monster Hunter player. So in a way, the Puke and the Barroth are kind of like a pair, aren't they? They kind of like complement each other. They both deal with different status effects that have opposite effects, really. They kind of like have totally different weak points. One is not sensitive on the wings, and the other has hind legs being very sensitive. One where the head is soft and the other completely tough. And a whole different environment, you know, one map with more corridors and the other with more open spaces. There's a lot of interesting opposites here. In the color as well, the Barroth is very muddy, it's not very colorful in opposition to the Puke, which is pure color, right? And also one is a flying wyvern and the other is a big charging train boy on 2 legs. And having these 2 monsters being fought back to back really does help you become more skilled as a player, as a hunter. And that's pretty awesome. I never realized that before, but this is really smart design. So what do you think about Barroth? Do you like it? Do you like the land? Do you like the Whitespire Waste land? It's a pretty cool map, and Actually, maybe one of my favorites. It's just so pretty and cool. And I feel the Barroth is a really fun monster to fight, especially if like you grapple onto its head, throw him into a wall. That could probably break this head. And was Barroth a sort of wall for you? You know, when you were reaching that point, did you have a lot of trouble defeating it? Did you have to become better to overcome it? Tell me all about your struggles and techniques and fights below. I'll see you for the next video. Cheers!